Spooky News, the Haunter community's leading news program, with Joseph Mayan.
From friend to pedophile. Last week, Chris the prop collector was exposed for having very inappropriate stuff onto his phone and sending them to group chats. It is September 15th. The big story on Spooky News tonight is that Chris the prop collector, who was formerly a friend of me, Halloween C, Joaquin, and Mr. Snow Collector, was exposed for having lolly porn on his phone and sending them to group chats. Here is a clip of Predator Plow's video exposing Chris.
Now, Chris is 15 himself, turning 16 next month, but that doesn't stop him from being a predator. The lolly art he had was of girls that hadn't gone through puberty yet and were literal children, like under 10 type of children. Now, yes, that does still make him a pedophile. Now, for your viewing pleasure, I have blurred out all of the actual art, but here is him sending it to a 15-year-old person. Now, to keep in mind, they are the exact same age, therefore, Chris did not prey on this person. As you can see, it was all spammed. Here's a screenshot where he's asking who made it. The person he was talking to replied, "I don't actually know. I don't remember who sent it." Chris replied, "I need to know. I'm horny. Wasn't it blank or something?"
I can't believe what Chris did, and the fact that I have to start off this broadcast talking about pedophiles, it's not the way I want to do it. But Chris obviously needs some help and needs to get rid of that stuff off his phone because it's obviously going to cause him a lot of trouble. So in Margate, New Jersey, a surprise is underway. Mr. Ari Goldberger, who is the owner of the famous Halloween house in Margate, New Jersey, is making a huge comeback for 2024. Here's a message from him and a special report on the special haunted house of Margate, New Jersey.
Now, it's still very early in production as nothing's out here right now, but later during the month, it is going to be covered with animatronics and other circus-related stuff for the Halloween 2024 season in Margate, New Jersey.
A house in Margate, New Jersey is getting ready to set up their big Halloween display for 2024. This house is located on Pembroke and Ventnor Avenue in Margate, New Jersey.
All right, so this year we're doing something different than last year. We're going to do a circus theme, and it's going to be called Circus Berserkus. Ari Goldberger is the creator of this fun haunted house in Margate, New Jersey. This house will contain about 40 plus animatronics, all 12-foot and new Spirit Halloween 2024 props, and some old Spirit Halloween 2024 props.
A little skull friend right here. Now this is just a teaser of what we are to expect for this Halloween season. But basically he put these out in the middle of August, and this is just a teaser for what you are to expect. Soon this will be taken out to give more space for the themes, and then next thing you know, later this month, the whole yard is going to be covered.
And over the last couple of days, I have come to visit once in a while and looked at what is going on for this season. And there will definitely be more updates to come as this house is still being under construction for the Halloween season. And I should also inform you guys that Mr. Ari Goldberger is letting me help out with this haunted house. I will definitely be posting videos about that, definitely. And I will also be interviewing a lot of the people that go to this haunted house this year. I will be there all the time this year for future broadcasts. I'll basically be there all the time, giving some videos of this haunted house to you guys. So you may have noticed in my community post, there is a new anchor coming to Spooky News. He's already here. His name is Terror on Tamarack. Terror on Tamarack was the former owner of the Haunt and Terror podcast. That was a podcast that I had hosted for a while and then left because I was getting real freaking tired of it. It was a podcast with him and J.A. Haunts and Mr. Thrills that me and Mr. Thrills decided to leave. So basically, Terror on Tamarack is taking Metal Ghost 9's spot on Spooky News after Metal Ghost 9 got fired off the show for posting gore onto Internet Archive. Yesterday marked the 2-year anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death. Queen Elizabeth II died on Thursday, September 8th, 2022 at age 96 years old. And since then, her son, who is 77, King Charles III, took the Queen's place after her passing in 2022. And it has now been officially 2 years since he has been king as well. His coronation took place on May 6th of 2023. But anyway, it's time for shoutouts. So Tuesday night was the second presidential debate before the 2024 election, which is about 54 days away. This time, it wasn't Trump or Biden, it was Trump and Kamala Harris. And I'm not going to say who did better here, I'm going to just roll the clip. Here you go.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice President brought up your tariffs. You responded, and let's drill down on this because your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed out here, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, imposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll mean higher prices on gas, food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs the typical family nearly $4,000 a year. Do you believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to have and who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years. I was the only president ever. China was paying us hundreds of billions of dollars, and so were other countries.
Vice President Harris, I do want to ask for your response, and you heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is under Donald Trump's presidency, he ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out, when a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins the competition for the 21st century.
And look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
In my personal opinion, I might be rooting for Kamala Harris because Trump was talking about cats and dogs, eating cats and dogs, and I'm like, what are you saying, man? Like, what are you yapping about? Cats and dogs? Like, what sense does that make? Nobody in the world has possibly eaten a cat and dog, from what I know. Nobody in the freaking world has probably eaten a cat or a dog. Like, from my perspective, I don't think anybody's ever done that. Mr. Trump, get out of here. So, Jordan Hyde, also known as Joby in Videos, got exposed once again. Even a year after he got exposed the first time. This time, there's a whole different plot twist to this. Predator Prowler's Willow Loves Halloween has the story.
A lot of you may remember when close to a year ago I dropped the bombshell exposing a pioneer of the haunter community, Joby in Videos, also known as Jordan, for predatory and pedophilic behavior. Since then, there's been no update, or at least what the public has seen. Today I have potentially some of the most vile and disturbing pieces of information to drop out of all of this, along with irrefutable proof that Jordan is doing this. As you can tell, this is uncovering a whole other ring of pedophilia and grooming that Jordan Hyde is involved in. This behavior is absolutely sickening. He surrounds himself with other pedophiles that he calls his friends. As well, Jordan thinks this is okay. He says multiple times that it's a quote-unquote good community. Jordan is saying this about a Telegram group that is involved in the distribution of child pornography, as well as the grooming and potentially trafficking of several minors. This is well confirmed that Jordan has been now purchasing and possessing even more child pornography, a behavior that hasn't changed since we last visited him in November.
Jordan was exposed again. Jordan Hyde was exposed again after about a year. It's not surprising. Like, I think I knew it was going to happen once all the evidence started coming out. And I didn't expect this evidence to come out. And I'm scarred for life from seeing those images. But I think we finally need to lock this son of a bitch up. Like, it's time to lock him up. Like, it's been going on for too long. And the evidence is there. Let's lock his ass up. It's time at this point. Whatever anybody could do to get him put into justice, please do it. Honestly, I want this man in jail. This disgusting mistake of a human, basically. Finally tonight, we have an announcement regarding the rest of the 2024 Spooky News season. It comes with some sad news about, the end of the season is fast approaching. On Friday, October 25th, we will be airing our final broadcast for the season. Just like last year, it's going to be the same this year. We are going to have another off season this year. But all I can say is thanks for making the 2024 season so great. Like, I gained a ton of subscribers this year, which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for all of you. I don't think I'm going to hit my 1K goal, but, next year is always there. And, we got future years ahead of you. So maybe one day I can hit 1K. Who knows? But I really got to say, 2024 was it was a good year, but it was all right in general. Like, we had, drama, we had this whole Dark Side Jester thing. Jordan got exposed again. Chris the prop collector, I lost a friend. Well, he basically got exposed, but I don't want to be friends with pedophiles, obviously. But that's pretty much what the 2024 season was, and I will talk about it more in the final broadcast on October 25th. That's on a Friday. And the time will be announced within the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. But that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And make sure to comment and turn on your notifications so you know when I do another broadcast, a regular video in general, or a Spooky 10 episode. Whenever I decide to do one. But anyway, for the entire Haunter community, I'm Joseph Mayan. I hope we can see you in the next broadcast. Good night.